What's up, automation engineers? In this video, I'm going to show you everything you need to know about Cypress Then Command. Now, before that, let me show you something. Now, I got this simple script where I'm visiting Google and I'm typing hello world in that search box. Now, let's open the same thing in Sources tab in Developer Tools. All you have to do is browse. Well, actually, you can hit Control P and search for the file, or you can browse the file tree and find it. So inside the integrations, I got this test case. Now I'm going to put 3 debug points. Now restart the test case. It's going to stop here. Now I'm going to continue the first command. But you can see, even though we executed this line, it's not going to navigate to that web page. Not yet, for some reason. Now I'm going to continue the test, actually the execution again. Now we are in the third step, but nothing happened yet. Cypress did not do, executed these commands. Now here's what's going on. Cypress is not going to execute these commands instantly. It's not going to visit to this Google website right away, but it's giving them. It's adding these commands to a queue. Let me show you that. I'll put a debug point. Now when I continue from this statement, it's going to stop there. Now I got this queue variable, which is an object from command queue. It could probably call commands. Let me expand that array. Now we got all the commands from that script listed down here. Visit get type, and in the same order they should be executed. As you can see, all the commands from the test case is going to be added to a queue when what we are doing here is registering to a queue, not executing them, basically. And Cypress is going to pick one by one and execute them in the same order they are in the array. So that's something this is something you should know when you're writing test cases using Cypress. At the same time, all these commands are asynchronous, because they are wrapped in promises. That's something interesting you should know. All right, now let's get back to the topic. I don't need this anymore. Okay, here I got then command call directly from CY object, and I have passed this anonymous function. When an function is passed into this then command, it's going to basically execute that one. Let me save and let's see the execution. Now it printed hello world. It's simple as that. Now that's one behavior of then command. In the second example, I'm visiting to Google, then I'm getting the search box, the element. So get command is going to search for this search for elements using this selector, and it's going to yield that value to the next command, in this case then. Now then is going to take that yielded value and it's going to pass that to our anonymous function when it's being called. Now let me save it. It is actually it stopped here. I can see it returned. Let me actually run it again. It's visiting Google, then it's going to return the jQuery object that contains my element. Now we can get yielded value from any command, not just DOM related commands. Here I'm sending a get request to this URL and I'm getting the response object. I got the status 200 and I got body JSON. It's passing the response body because we have content type JSON in headers. That's why it's passing automatically. So that's something nice of Cypress. Now then it's not going to stop there. It's going to pass it to the next command. In this this case we are calling then on the first then command. Now is it going to yield window object, which will be received to first then command, and that first then command is going to yield that to the next one. So these two logs should print the window object. Why the hell, man? Let me actually remove all the breakpoints. So annoying. Yep. Now let's see. Now we can change that behavior. Then is passing the same subject to the next then, but we can change that behavior. Here I got visit command again, then I'm calling then method. Here I'm logging the subject, but I'm returning a value. Now when I return a value from then command, it's going to change the subject. Now let's see. I got window object from first then, but second and third then has the value hello world because I'm changing the subject. And by the way, the value being passed from one command to another is called subject in Cypress. So yeah, um, we are returning hello world string, and it's going to then it's going to take that, and from there onward all the other commands will receive that hello world. So yeah, that's one way of changing the subject. Now there's another way. This time I'm not returning anything, but I'm calling a Cypress command again inside this then command. Now let's see what will happen. I got the window object as usual from visit command, but in the second then command I got a jQuery object. Well, what's going on here? This time we are not returning anything, but we are calling Cypress command. So when we call a Cypress command, it's going to change the subject to last command's yielded value or subject. So in this case, I'm getting this element, and get is going to pass that value to the next method. Now next method performing an action, but it's not going to change the subject, but it will pass it to the next one. Now in this case, next command is this then, so it's going to take that jQuery object. So that's another way to change the subject in Cypress. Now one thing to note here is, if I try to return something, as I said, Cypress commands are ran asynchronously, but this time I'm trying to return which is synchronous, totally synchronous. Now it does not know which one to use. Basically, should it use the value from this get command, or should it use this return value to pass it to the next thing? So what Cypress is going to do is it's going to throw an error because you're mixing up async and sync code, so that is not allowed. You can return it when you don't have a asynchronous call from Cypress commands. So that's something you should know. Okay, now let's go to the next. So I got this get command which takes an invalid selector, so the command will fail. Now when the command is failed, the rest of the script will not be executed. So this is kind of obvious, but let me show you that. So it did not printed this will never be called log. Here I got this custom promise. This is not part of Cypress. So when I do something like this, let's say, actually if you don't know anything about promises, just skip this part for now, but I will create a video about promises in the future. Now what I'm doing is I'm calling this set timeout, but I'm wrapping it using promises. Now I'm calling this resolve method when the timeout is completed. Now I'm passing wait 1000, that's going to wait 1000 milliseconds. After that, I'm executing. Actually, these promises are way to handle asynchronous methods without ending up in a callback hell. Okay, now wait. After that, I'm going to console log the subject, which is being yielded from this visit command, and after that, I'm returning hello. Now let's see what will happen. You can see order is messed up. Now it's calling then 2 first. After that, it's calling then 1. So what the hell is going on? We got then 2 first. Then after that, we got this one. Now we are calling a promise inside another promise. Now Cypress cannot wait this to happen, whatever this to happen, because it has no handler to control that one. Now if we returned the promise, it can wait whatever this to happen and execute the second then command after. Now when I save this one, what is this? Chrome load times deprecated. What? Whatever. We got then command, then one command first, then after that, then two. Now you see the subject has changed. So why it's changed? Because I'm returning this hello from this custom promise. As I said, putting console logs outside, it's not going to work with Cypress because the way it's being executed, those are asynchronous, and all the commands are queued in the first place, so that's not going to work. Now I should be able to use then command to console log out something. Let's say I want to log something after visit command. I could do this. So you can see it's going to wait visit command to complete. Now if I put a console log like this, that's not going to work. You see, it executed before all the others. Again, you can see. So use then command to put debug console logs or whatever. So I got this debugger keyword that's going to stop the execution there. That's a JavaScript engine thing. So I think it's working in all the browsers and Node as well. And again, it's going to stop the execution. JavaScript engine is going to stop the execution here when it found the keyword debugger. On browser, we will be navigate to what's that, sources tab. Now let me save this thing. By the way, we are visiting. Then I'm taking that using then command, and let's see. Okay, now the execution is stopped here. Now I should be able to hover over these variables and stuff, read things. Now let's say I want to watch on this subjects document or something like that. I should be able to do subject document, and it will add a voucher. So this way we can use all the debugging features from Chrome when we are writing scripts. So these are the things you should know, you really should know when you're working with Cypress for automation. So this is it for this video. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.